Hey, welcome to Red State Update. My name's Jackie Brawls.
Folks, people, it's Dunlap. Hope you survived the week. You know, used to when I said that, I didn't mean that. Hope the president didn't kill you with a deadly virus he's just let go of completely, or that some angry policeman didn't double down on their shame anger. Shame is going a bit too far. And also murder. There's just a lot of different ways you could have not survived this week.
We hope all of you got through it. Well, hope none of you got anywhere near any of that. But we also know there's a lot of people that's going on. Yeah.
You could have got hit by somebody throwing something in a supermarket. It's a dangerous world out there, no matter who you are, but especially for black people. Hey, over in Nashville, you know the city of Nashville, Jackie?
I know Nashville, yeah.
Music City, USA?
Yep.
Home of Opryland. You ever been to Opryland?
I could been to Opryland years ago. It ain't, yeah.
The big amusement park they had. So over in, I almost said Opryland. We should occupy Opryland. Just go to Opry Mills and just make them bring back Kronos.
I liked it better back then. I did, yeah.
Over at the state capitol in Nashville at Ida B. Wells Plaza, as the protesters have renamed it, they're still hunkered down there. They're supposed to vote on Thursday if they're going to take down that statue. Jackie, have you ever heard of Nathan Bedford Forrest?
Yes, I know who he is.
There's a statue of him. If you don't know who he is, you can go to the state capitol of Tennessee, and there's a statue of him. And you can just sit right there and stare at it. Go, that's the guy that started the Ku Klux Klan. It says right on there, Confederate general, I think, right there in the state capital of Tennessee. If you want to go see it, don't. But if you might want to hurry because they're supposed to vote on it Thursday. We'll know what happens. It seems like they're going to take it down. But man alive, you never know.
It's Tennessee. You don't really know how that could go. Yeah, I said that out loud, and it's true. And it ain't nothing funny about it at all. We have no idea which way the hammer could fall on that.
They have been out there protesting it. They arrested a bunch of them over the weekend on July 4th, being patriotic and all. They couldn't handle it, so they threw a bunch of kids in jail. So if you do go down there, maybe support the protesters down at Ida B. Wells Plaza in Nashville, Tennessee. This is the Red State Update podcast. Here's a joke. Oh, yeah. That was you. I thought you were going to say one.
No, I
was throwing it over to you.
I was ready for it.
Say something funny.
What's funny? I was ready for a joke. It's about time. Good Lord, I hadn't heard a good joke in a long time, and I don't know if it's time for one or not. But I thought I was waiting for. I was like, okay, I don't think it's appropriate right now to be joking. But you said here's a joke, and I said, well, I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. Let me hear it. So yeah, I'm all.
No, what I was hoping was that you would provide maybe a much needed moment of levity. People could collect themselves, catch a mental break with some laughter, which is healing for the soul. I've always heard, and then return to our new mission in 2020, which is to bring about social justice as quickly as possible.
Let's just go with the justice part. I think that's what we should focus on. I don't know any good jokes. I don't remember none. None of them come to mind right now.
I did. This is not so much a joke, but this was on our Twitter. Folks, country music superstar Charlie Daniels passed away this week, and his Twitter has been a crutch on this podcast for years and years, ever since I would reckon that Senator actor Fred Thompson passed away.
Yeah.
Are there many other senator actors?
If there are, he's still the best one, but I don't think there is, and I know of. Well, that's Al Franklin. No, he ain't a senator no more, is he?
Nope.
I guess, yeah. And he didn't do no real acting. He just talking, funny. Funny. But Fred Thompson could be funny and serious. He could do both. That's, we're missing that in Washington these days.
I tell you, I think Al Franken has a podcast. Fred Thompson never got the chance, and he would have been great at it.
Yes, he would have. Yes, he would. Amen.
So also had a great Twitter. Fred Thompson's Twitter was great. Charlie Daniels' Twitter was nutty. And I mean, it's sort of like Trump's Twitter, except every once in a while, Charlie Daniels will show a picture of a horse or 3 horses and put like mama, daddy, and baby.
Yeah.
Like Trump could care less about a fucking horse. Sure, Charlie Daniels may have harped on Benghazi and, some...
I think he did more Benghazi than horsing, but at least, you'd break up the Benghazi a little bit with a horse, which I'd say take that. If they'd have done that in Washington, people would have a different attitude about it. You'd be in the middle of, 13 hours of talking to Hillary Clinton, you take a break, just walk a horse through there. I mean, I think that's a soothing to everybody's soul. So...
And I think that you would, and here's what I don't understand about Charlie Daniels, and I imagine that a lot of us are having complicated thoughts about members of our own family, as if they were Charlie Daniels, except none of them can play the fiddle that good. Or no. Probably most of our race, not all, but a lot of our racist grandparents don't like Bob Dylan as much as Charlie Daniels does. I'm just throwing out some nice things about Charlie Daniels. I would think if I was putting up Twitter posts of his wife's azaleas bush, well, that sounded weird. Hydrangeas bush and the horses. That every once in a while I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I should let some of this other bullshit go. He obviously was just watching Fox News and then tweeting about it, like another person we know who is the president.
He would have, as crazy as hell as some of the stuff that Charlie Daniels put out there, still be a better president. I mean, we'd have issues with him, certainly, yes, but I'd still say better than what we got now, yeah.
The music would be better.
Music would be a lot better, yeah.
So, Charlie Daniels, I did have this thought that it's sad that Charlie Daniels didn't live to see Trump get voted out of office and Bubba Wallace chase Trump just one time around the parking lot.
Yeah.
Throwing that gravel. But then I thought, well, maybe Charlie Daniels is in heaven and is turned back good, looking down on that. And he's like, yeah. But maybe I'm thinking too much about Charlie Daniels.
Well,
here's a tweet from July 1st. People wanted to know what was on Charlie Daniels' Twitter feed. What were some of his last tweets? He did tweet this on July 1st. I don't think Joe Biden could make it through an inaugural speech, much less a presidential term. That was from Charlie Daniels, who passed away a few days later.
Yeah.
You never did think it ever would happen again in America, did you?
Did you? Yeah.
We're walking real loud and we're talking real proud again. Talking loud isn't good, is it? Maybe that's how we got Trump. Maybe that people are like, I guess it's okay to talk loud. Is it talking loud and walking proud, or is it walking loud and talking proud? Maybe I got it mixed up. I guess if you do go through, I don't want to spend all this podcast on when we were just talking about social justice, but I do. We have spent a lot of time with Charlie Daniels, and I do want to spend a little bit more. He did have a few tweets about Stroker Ace in his last days. On this day in 1983, the Burt Reynolds NASCAR comedy Stroker Ace was released. Now, what would Stroker Ace think about Bubba Wallace? He'd be let's get whoever put that news here, Bubba. That's what Stroker Ace would say. While not being one of Burt's best performing movies, this is a tweet from Charlie Daniels. It did have a pretty catchy song in its opening credits, Stroker's Theme by the CDB, Team CD. Oh, he didn't actually tweet that. That came from Team CDB.
Oh.
Underneath that, he said, what do the people in Minneapolis do if somebody steals their car? Call antics? I think he meant Antifa. That was actually from him, not Team CDB. So I guess he had a team that would tweet his book or Stroker Ace, and then if it was Benghazi or remember 9/11 or the abortion one he did every day, or Pray for the Blue, or 22 veterans commit suicide every day. That's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, it's not good.
But, yeah, that's important information, yeah.
I don't even mind these morning prayers. Lord, give us the courage to speak our mind, to be honest and bold about our feelings, no matter who or how many we go against. Is that actually from the Bible? No, that's just him saying, I'm going to get on here and make some people mad, God. Hey, people are complicated.
I was just thinking if the CD, what is it? It's him, and what's the other page? The Charlie Daniel Band have their own thing on Twitter, Swatters. What is it?
I don't know if they got their own thing. It looks like somebody that runs their merch counter gets on here and tweets for him.
Oh, for him. Okay, all right. But
not the one, not the bad ones.
If your job was to sit on a computer and say things about stroke or ace all day, that's a pretty good living. I mean, I'd do that for free.
There's not a lot of jobs I'm qualified for, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. If that's a real job, that's the thing about computers I don't understand. Make so many opportunities for the young people, old people, whatever. Yeah.
I want to do, and every night he'd say, guess I'll hang it up for tonight. Good night, planet Earth, God bless. But then he'd say, hey, dumb politicians, how much more do you think the police are going to take before they just say to hell with it and leave you for the mob to devour? You think this bunch of thugs respect you for giving in? They're laughing at you, and they'll soon be back for more.
That's the part I don't want to hear loud.
Sitting on a bar stool, acting like a darn fool. That's what I'm a-doing today. I'm sitting here drinking, trying to keep from thinking I'm something away.
I did it.
I'm running people off from, he gave a happy 80th birthday to Jeannie Seeley. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. You can go to Charlie Daniels' Twitter and try to reckon with this if you want to. You can just listen to his music and say, I'm going to deal with Granddaddy later. Or if you're like a lot of people listening, you're like, who the fuck is Charlie Daniels? The devil? Hippies. Old hippies. They either turn out good or bad. That's Bellamy Brothers, I think.
Bellamy, member, yeah.
Folks, just a little housekeeping before we dive into another racist grandpa that's been bothering us here. Jackie, do you remember our good friend Dr. Guy Lancaster?
Of course I know Dr. Guy Lancaster. Yes, of course I know that man, yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think we've been calling him doctor on here before, but I think that I don't know what his doctorate is in. It might be Red State Update.
Well, he sure does know more about it than we do. He wrote up, I don't, Lord knows how much on that, whatever you call it, till they took it down.
Wikipedia.
That's it. I know. I can't keep that different from Twitter. I don't know where everything goes on the computer.
Dr. Guy Lancaster, who has been a good friend to us here at the Red State Updates, has a book out, folks, people. It's called Blood in Their Eyes. He is a co-author on this book with Griff Stockley and Brian K. Mitchell. Dr. Guy Lancaster is. This book, Guy Lancaster is smart, and he's smart about important stuff. Some people are smart about stroke or ace. Guy probably is too. He probably is also smart about stroke or ace. But he's this book
too. Yeah.
In addition to that, on September 30th, 1919, this is the blurb from the book. Local law enforcement in rural Phillips County, Arkansas, attacked black sharecroppers at a meeting of the Progressive Farmers and Household Union of America. The next day, hundreds of white men from the Delta, along with U.S. Army troops, converged on the area with blood in their eyes. What happened next was one of the deadliest incidents of racial violence in the history of the United States, leaving a legacy of trauma and silence that has persisted for more than a century. This is a story of an untold or little known terrible racial massacre in America. And we're going to have Guy on to talk about it.
Sadly, one of many, but yeah, I'm looking forward to. Yes, we're going to have him on maybe next week.
The goal is to have Dr. Guy Lancaster as a guest on our podcast to talk about blood in their eyes. Well, I don't know how much he wants to talk about different things, maybe stroke or ace, maybe blood in their eyes, the Elaine race massacres of 1919. That was, I guess it's part of all that god-awful, terrible. Yeah. But we're going to have some fun with Guy. Hey, Guy also has another book, Bullets and Fire, Lynching and Authority in Arkansas, 1840 to 1950. You can get that at the University of Arkansas Press. Both these books are available at the University of Arkansas Press, uapress.com. We're going to talk to Guy, who we've mentioned so many times on here before, and you're going to listen to it, and we're going to talk about this, and you're going to sit there, and you're going to think about it, and then we're going to move forward together.
I hope so. That's a good plan for me, yeah.
And then maybe at the end of it, he'll have a joke. Doesn't seem appropriate, but, we have to sit with our awkwardness these days.
It's a time where I miss old Jay Leno, because he, whether you liked it or not, at least he had a joke the next day. And if he was on, he'd be, quarantine this and that, he'd at least have something.
Tiger King.
What is it?
So Blood in Their Eyes, the Elaine race massacres in 1919. I actually don't know hardly anything about anything I just read. So it'll be interesting to talk to Guy, and maybe, we always wanted to talk to Guy.
Absolutely. He's doing very important work, but also we like him because he's been very, very kind to us here. That's probably, I'll be honest, what we noticed first, probably before we realized that he was doing important work, is, this man's a doctor and he listens to us.
I don't even think I knew that he was a doctor first. I was just like, he listens to us? I think this was a good plug for the books, Jackie. I think we did pretty good. So that's Blood in Their Eyes, the Elaine race massacres of 1919, and also Lynching and Authority, Bullets and Fire, Lynching and Authority in Arkansas, 1840 to 1950. If you want to implicate your dead relatives and you're in Arkansas, Guy is the person to talk to. Jackie, speaking of implicating relatives.
Yeah.
Trump at this point, after a weekend of forcing people to go to Mount Rushmore, like he's Clark Griswold, and giving a terrible speech. First of all, it was a terrible speech. It wasn't, you think on 4th of July, you're going to get some fireworks. You're going to get some in the speech. You're going to get some, let's come together. This nation is, but he was reading it, and he was reading it in that way that he's mad that he's reading. So he's just sneering the whole time. He's away the violent crime in our cities.
He's sweating. He looked like something his head been in the oven for an hour or something. It just looked awful. He never looks good, granted, but he looked extra bad. And he never's made a good speech either, for that matter. But this in particular was just awful. He said awful things. He said it in a way that, I guess we should be thankful that he wasn't saying it and getting people up on their feet with it, because as awful as it was, but he just felt like he, wanted to be somewhere else, or had trouble breathing in that climate or something.
Sure.
Didn't seem right. Yeah.
He did look like a giant, botched, shrinky dink come to life as a stumbling golem. Our nation is witnessing a merciless campaign to wipe out our history, defame our heroes, erase our values, and indoctrinate our children, Trump said to boos from supporters. Angry mobs are trying to tear down statues of our founders, deface our most sacred memorials, and unleash a wave of violent crime in our cities.
Yeah.
And then it kept going the next day at the White House on the 4th of July. The patriots who built our country were not villains. He just kept going. He wants to build a statue. He wants to build a statue park with Billy Graham in it and Reagan, Scalia, Dolly Madison, which is not just cupcakes, but Dolly Madison, and Martin Luther King. He wants to trap Martin Luther King in a statue park with Audie Murphy. I don't know. Was Audie Murphy bad? He was fine, right?
If it make a Martin Luther King statue, I wouldn't be surprised if he's standing. I think all of these statues, when it mentioned, they said they would all be a statue of them and himself shaking hands or something, right?
Yes, there's a statue. It's I don't know how. It's a lot of statues, and he'll be shaking hands with every one of them. So it's an equal number of statues. Even the speech is weird. Like angry mobs are tearing down statues. Like he could be like they're breaking into your house. It's like, no, just go to the statues. Symbolism very important to racists.
I'm not even trying to get in trouble here or anything, but as far as like famous statues, and I know we're talking about awful ones. Of course, I know the one that's up in our courthouse that they're voting on soon. We'll see how that goes. But I mean, what are like if you said name me a statue? The only thing and without all of this going on, Statue of Liberty. That's the only one I know, probably because it's so big. But I don't know offhand, like, what are the most famous statues of all time or whatever. Like, when you say statue, what do you think? Of course, nowadays we think Confederacy, because that's, trying to get them down. But before that, just in general, back when we didn't realize how awful everything was, concerning aspects of the South. Remember those days? Remember way back in? Dukes of Hazzard, everything is okay. We didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's why, when everything, okay, just as far as we were concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Back in, if
we didn't.
Had asked you, name 3 statues, what would you say?
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Statue come to life.
What?
Maybe in a Twilight Zone or something.
That's a mannequin. That ain't a statue. That's different.
And mannequin.
Different.
And mannequin.
That's
too.
different. Old Twilight Zone mannequin, put the clothes on it, come to life. I don't know if I had no statues on there. It's 2 different things.
Annabelle. I would have said Annabelle was one of them.
What is it?
Annabelle.
I don't know. What?
Like Anthony Hopkins ventriloquist movie.
What?
But Annabelle, she's new. She's like a new version of it.
How come it's a Lincoln, the big giant Lincoln? Because again, that sticks in my head.
Oh, that's a statue.
But it ain't. No, they call it memorial. Because the first thing I think of, because again, real big, it sticks in your head. Something as big as Statue of Liberty, something big as So I like the Lincoln statue, but it ain't called it. It's memorial.
Oh shit! That Ronald McDonald statue in front of the McDonald's.
Oh yeah, I would have thought
on Memorial. That's on Memorial Parkway. Isn't
it is. It is on Memorial.
Well,
Parkway.
then
been there.
Maybe it's a memorial. Did they name the street after the statue?
I don't think it's Ronald McDonald Street, not as far as I know. But yeah, it's been there.
Because he was
climbing all over it since 1972.
You're right, Jackie. There is something about giant statues being memorable because the Trump campaign used in a fundraiser that giant statue of Jesus in Brazil, and they were just, we will protect this.
I honestly did not know that. Excuse me for, I was unaware of that. I'm just hearing that news now.
Yeah, but they weren't like, we're going to go to Brazil. It was just, here's a picture of a statue of Jesus. And I think people recognize that there is a giant statue of Jesus somewhere, but they don't know if it's in McMinnville or Rio de Janeiro, or it's like the Pope owns it. All that matters is there's a statue. There's a bunch of people always talking about statues of Jesus coming down because that's like combining 2. That's like pulling down 2 statues with 1 rope.
It's Jesus and Confederate generals.
Yeah. But people don't even give a shit. Like he's giving these speeches, these terrible speeches.
And I guess the point I was trying to make, all these people wouldn't know. I mean, some people would know that they're there, but as far as the people who are upset about it now, they ain't going and looking at that statue every day and holding a hand over heart. No, it's the people mad about it didn't care anything about it till somebody told them how offensive it shouldn't have had to have been told. But somebody they don't like. Nope, white people don't like being told it's supposed to be this or that.
A lot of people don't like being told nothing.
Yeah.
But people don't like they pulled down they got rid of the Stonewall Jackson statue in Richmond. They got rid of the flag. The Mississippi state flag is getting the Confederate
off of
emblem out of it.
Can't take it to NASCAR. You can't. Virginia, or you ought to say Virginia took one of them down. Yeah, and we'll say hopefully here. I hope my state has about just 2 marbles left rolling around in the damn head, and take this and damn down next week.
Yeah, people are other Republicans are seeing all this happen, and people really not giving that big of a shit. I mean, him saying that Black Lives Matter would be a symbol of hate if they painted it on Fifth Avenue, or he just said it was a symbol of hate in general, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so. Yeah, just said it. Yeah.
I think even other Republicans are like, is this helping? Is this going to help? Because he's not, here's the thing, he's Fox News racist granddad, but not the leader of them. So all the racist granddads that watch Fox News elected him like to be their leader.
Yeah.
But he's just them. He just watches it. He doesn't lead. He's not even making news that goes on Fox. He's just watching the news on Fox.
Yeah.
The Bubba Wallace stuff. He's just regurgitating shit he saw. He's not even leading in racist conspiracy theories. He's having to regurgitate Facebook bullshit.
Yep.
He's just sitting there. You would think if a Fox News watching racist rose to the highest office in the land, they would go, whoa, now I have a lot to live up to. I have to lead the other racists. Nope. He doesn't even know his job has changed. He thinks he got elected because he was just sitting there. He doesn't know he's supposed to lead in racism, which, I mean, thank God. Because he doesn't even give a shit. Like, he's giving this terrible speech. He thinks the presidency is beneath him. That's what's different about him from other presidents, even the worst ones. No one else everybody else that has become president aspired to be president. He's the only one who thinks he took a step down because he whines about it all the time. Oh, my life was so much better. Oh, I give my salary away. Oh, who gives a fuck? He's so miserable.
Well, that's what it was.
Only president
in front of Mount Rushmore. That he was mad he had to be there. I have to remind these people about how he barely awake. He sets the whole thing up and all this stuff, make sure that, tear the stickers down, put the chairs closer together, on and on. He don't even want to be there by the time it's time to go on.
So that was his 4th of July weekend. Then on Monday, he woke up and tweeted, has Bubba Wallace apologized? Bubba Wallace is a NASCAR driver, folks. Has Bubba Wallace apologized to all those great NASCAR drivers and officials who came to his aid, stood by his side, and were willing to sacrifice everything for him, only to find out that the whole thing was just another hoax? That and flag decision. The flag decision, by the way, was NASCAR saying you can't bring Confederate flags to NASCAR events anymore. That's the flag decision he's saying has caused the lowest ratings ever.
Yep.
I mean, maybe in the Duck Dynasty household, but other than that, I don't even know if they're a Nielsen family. And I can't believe, it's something I agree with Lindsey Graham on, we should be celebrating the spirit of unity. I can't believe NASCAR banned Confederate flags. Jackie, did you ever think you'd see the day?
No. That Mississippi, back to back, these are the only 2 things I can hold on to, as well as young people being out in the streets, that gives me some sort of optimism, which is really hard to give anybody right now. But these few things I'm holding on to. This something's going on. Never thought I'd see this. Yes,
Never.
I know over 100,000, 130,000 people are dying. People dying every day. Yeah, but look, NASCAR took down the Confederate flag. It just gave me a little inkling of hope or something.
I mean, I might have thought that NASCAR would say, like, no Confederate flags, like no outside drinks.
They might have like one day you couldn't bring it.
Yeah. Or we'll sell you one if you can't bring your own.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real money maker for us.
And Trump doing the only thing he knows how to do, and that's pretty much be racist. That's what got him into the White House. I know there's plenty of people that voted for him who said, "No, I ain't no race." Well, if you ain't a racist, you don't seem to mind it too much, because that's pretty much all he did.
Look, things must be pretty bad if Lindsey Graham is going against Trump, saying defending NASCAR, looking to celebrate that kind of attitude more than being worried about it being a hoax, which is just some bullshit people say on Facebook when they're mad that black people are on their TV.
Bubba Wallace didn't even go. That's the thing about driving. You don't even understand what the situation is. You just ask, he didn't go say something's in my. They told him, they pulled him in NASCAR, took him to the main office to tell him, which they should have. They're good on them for doing so. But it ain't like it's just a bunch of bull. The racism he's finding out don't work as good for him this time around. He ain't doing Republicans no favors. There's a lot of senators right now that wasn't worried a year ago or maybe before that, and now they're real worried. The House, they may get more Democrats in the House who they already got that. It ain't looking good. Now, I know a lot can change between now and whenever. I guess whenever Joe Biden opens his mouth, in a way that sadly we're used to occasionally. Still not as bad. Well, I ain't running old Joe down in this situation, but still, a lot can happen is what I'm saying.
A lot can happen.
But he found out racism don't work for a lot of reasons. I hope it's a lot of reasons. The mood of the nation ain't there. If all of these businesses is a capitalist society, and I may have said this before, if all these businesses, NASCAR realizes we ain't gonna make no money unless we do this. If the NFL, if we don't let people kneel, this is over. That should tell people something.
When the money people start getting out, that means something.
Yeah. But also, when you're trying to do your greatest hits about racism and whatnot, you also got, over 100,000 people dying, thousands of people getting sick every day. Seems like there's a lot more important things. Sure, you may love every single racist statue there is. You may have a book full of them that you look at, all the names and stuff, all that. But that book ain't going to mean not much to you if you're on a ventilator or your mama is or whoever. And this stuff is hurting down south pretty bad. Texas ain't doing good at all. And Florida is looking worse and worse every day.
The only reason I can think of that they're concentrating on, there's two reasons. Two reasons that they're concentrating on being racist instead of three reasons. Three reasons they're concentrating on being racist instead of coronavirus. Number one, they don't know what to do about coronavirus, and they know how to be racist.
Can I make a suggestion about the coronavirus? They don't know what to do. Try what every other country has done on this damn planet. Try that.
But he thinks people who in other countries are stupid.
Well, there's a lot more of them living right now these days. If it's doing stupid, it's staying alive. I don't, places he referred to as shitholes excuse my language, are doing a hell of a lot better in this country right now. Don't nobody want us nowhere. You can't even leave a damn place. People hollering at you, screaming, love it or leave it, get out. Well, right now, ain't nobody going to take me going nowhere.
Yeah, the new motto from the White House is we need to live with it.
That's what they planned. They all got together, the great minds that are running our country sat down and decided, let's just tell them, get used to it. Cross your fingers. Hope. Was there nobody in the room that says, well, why don't we try to do what all of the other countries in like Europe did, or Australia, New Zealand, or South Korea? Why don't we just try? Let's just see if it'll work. It's worked out for them. Was there one person in the room that said, maybe if we just...
Yeah, I think his name was Dr. Fauci, and they sell T-shirts of his face with a target on it at Trump rallies. I'm assuming. Hey, Jackie, don't worry about it. 99% of coronavirus cases in America are totally harmless.
Hell.
That's what the president... Oh, right. I forgot who the president was for a second. President Trump on Saturday, when he was also still laying down a bunch of racist bullshit on the 4th of July, said that 99% of coronavirus cases in America are totally harmless. And then he had Mark Meadows, who is his chief of staff, also echo it. And then Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, which is doing great, by the way, said young people mostly don't get it. I don't know his exact quote, but I imagine it was something like,
he had to hit on young people because he's going to send people back to school in a couple months, no matter what's going on. No, I don't care how bad it is.
As a matter of fact, it helps you learn. It makes your brain like a sponge.
You'll try to get your lessons done that much faster so you can get back home and quarantine.
In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, who had previously blocked local governments from requiring masks and had been among the first to reopen businesses, reversed himself and issued a mandate, this is from CNN.com, requiring masks in most of the state after he'd shut down bars, limited restaurants 50% capacity, halted elective surgeries. They hate him. All his crazy Tea Party, Obama invasion of Texas.
That's all he is. Yeah, They love.
And guess what? They hate him now.
I don't look at the Twitter too much, but when you showed me all the responses to that announcement, that was almost as funny as old Fred Thompson Twitter.
Almost. God rest his soul.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Yeah.
There's no need to be fearful, DeSantis said Monday. It's just not funny because literally thousands of people are dying, and he says there's no need to be fearful. I don't know if that's the funny part or the not funny part anymore. Insisting schools will reopen in the fall. He's wiped out funding for coronavirus treatment in prisons and for online learning services, and insisting that schools will reopen in the fall. First of all, if you're a teacher in Florida, your life is shitty enough. You don't need a constant fear of death on top of it. It really isn't funny because teachers in Florida are dealing with the threat of death at the hands of their government.
Yep. Teachers going to have to strike or do something. I mean, if you have just the slightest amount of common sense, are you going to send your child back to school if there's no room in the ICUs?
Hey, I mean, common sense ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't giving you no money. People ain't got no child care. People
got to do something.
Everybody's fucked. They're boxed in every way. Like every which way somebody could have done something to help. Instead, they decided to fuck you there.
Hey, but yeah.
So I don't know. I guess wrap them up in tinfoil and hope for the best. Hey, a bright spot, Kimberly Guilfoyle, top fundraising official for Trump campaign, tests positive for coronavirus. I hope she's okay. She's the third person in proximity of President Trump known to have contracted the virus. I do hope she's okay.
Boy, there's a lot of Secret Service men that's been in his proximity that has it as well. I mean, she's a known person, but no, everywhere
yeah,
he goes.
That's not really counting a lot of people who are quarantined in fucking Oklahoma from.
Still, yeah.
So Kim, she's also Don Jr.'s girlfriend. Do you think he's already back on Tinder?
What is it?
Jackie, Rush Limbaugh thinks we should just everybody get sick in herd mentality.
Well, yeah.
Isn't he sick?
He got lung cancer. He's got lung cancer. Like coronavirus is going to go well for him. Just to honor all of our workers, our brave American people, I'm going to start doing my radio show outside or in an auditorium, or just have an audience there, just to bond with all of the brave souls who are going out there and getting their rear ends back to work.
Make him teach school in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to do that to the kids.
That's bad, yeah. But
can you imagine Rush? Actually, I was like, what would it be like to have Rush Limbaugh as a teacher? I'm like, it's kind of like a lot of teachers I had in Murfreesboro, like the coach teaching driver's ed. 2 + 2 = tyranny. I don't know. I didn't have anywhere to go with that. McConnell called. Oh, here's what they're working on. Here's what they are worried about. If you go to a business and you get sick there, you should not be able to sue them.
Nope.
Because I guess the theory being, if you can sue the business and maybe you could sue the government that forced them to be open by sitting on all that money, and then maybe you can sue Mitch fucking McConnell, who called for the 5-year lawsuit shield as part of the next coronavirus bill. Which would open the door to more stimulus checks, which would be nice. But, I mean, we're sending our kids to sick school, so how much money's going to be on that check?
And it's
what are you paying them for?
I'm sitting there thinking all of this is just horrid, horrific, and whatnot. This is what's going to be happening. We're going to watch children get sick. We're going to watch people get sick at work and not be able to do anything. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. Look at everything that they've done. Nothing. We're sitting here saying how awful this is, but just get ready to watch it go in action, because that's exactly what it's going to be. People getting sick, people dying. That don't change. You do it at work. If you stay home, you may not get sick. Might not. Hell, if you wore a damn mask, maybe.
I'm Rush Limbaugh. I am your substitute teacher. I want to talk to the boys in the class now. If you have ever experienced less than optimal performance, we have a sponsor today. I don't know. That's Rush Limbaugh doing boner pills in a Florida classroom.
No, I'm about to say if until we figure out how to do sponsors again, you should just do that on everyone. Let Rush Limbaugh come on and let Rush Limbaugh do in the schoolroom.
If you're not going to eat, I can't do them anymore.
You're
probably good.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
Hey, who all got money from them loans, though? They did. They were not going to put out the list of the loan recipients, and then was it Mnuchin, right? The reverse course.
There wasn't nobody say. But then they did. They just decide, everybody will be okay with this. I mean, what made them?
Well, yeah.
Why did they like? Out of hell with it. Show them, like why? If you weren't gonna show them, you know what? Put that out there. Let's watch them raise hell.
I do think we talked about this a little bit before we got on the podcast, but possibly one more reason for all this. I don't think I got through the 3 or 4 I was going to say. It's just that they know that they're fucked. So they're letting Trump, because how does Trump being racist help him in the election? Well, it doesn't unless only hillbillies can vote. So he is out there, racist hillbillies. So he's out there like, well, we got to keep him occupied somehow. Until then, let's just let him be racist. It also gives Stephen Miller something to do, is write his speeches. And then everybody else is just trying to figure out how to get as much money in their suitcases before they flee the country. They know that coronavirus is going to kill millions of Americans, and they are just saying, well, fuck it. Who's got a helicopter? Can we get to an island?
I got to get mine, yeah.
I'm going to get mine.
Supposedly, there's some brave soul Republicans right now, supposedly, that are powwowing, figuring out how to stand up to Trump. They're trying to figure out how they can go about. They're going to distance themselves. They're going to cut the tether. When are they going to do that, Dunlap? When they say they're going to do that?
Well, a Republican strategist close to Mitch McConnell, this is from Vanity Fair, I believe, told me that the Republicans have Labor Day penciled in as a deadline for Trump to have turned things around. After that, he's on his own.
Yep. We give him 2 more months. we just give him 2 more months, and let's just see. Maybe it'll work out.
How do they think there's going to be? Hey, you know what there could be? I don't fucking know. A lot could happen. We're dealing with Joe Biden on one. All he has to do is stay stable, and we should be okay. I don't know what Republicans think can happen between now and Labor Day, and I don't know what they think can happen after Labor Day. They think it'll be like, well, you know what? He really should have done more.
Do you think they got the press conference already booked? That morning, Labor Day morning, they're gonna get up. I'll go get out there. I tell you what, I don't cuss, you know that, and I don't say the last word I say is a F you thing. And somebody said, I saw somebody tell Jackie, go ahead and say that. And I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to do it. Somebody, was a guy Lancaster? Somebody was saying, just let him do it, get it over with. He's so mad about things. And you close, you're right. But I tell you what, I'm going to save mine. If I ever do say it, which I hope I don't, I'm going to save mine for when all this is over with. And then the remaining Republicans, after the blood's cleaned up, the ones that managed to keep themselves where they are as representative of the party, and they sit there and just go, well, you know, we're going to take we're going to look at ourselves and find out why this happened. And maybe we shouldn't have gone along with the racism. Maybe we should have stood up to him then. There's going to be a lot of that. Well, hopefully not too much, because most of them hope to be gone for good. But I tell you what, that's when my F words are saved up. Every single one of them saying I should have done better, I should have known better, I on and on. They'll get it from me.
We'll close the episode with you screaming it, just like Dr. Johnny Fever and Booger.